April 6, 1917, 200 feet below the Atlantic surface, USS E-2 submarine commander Lieutenant Chester Nimitz checked the atmospheric gauge again. Gasoline vapors at 4% concentration. One spark and 28 men die in a fireball. The Holland-class boat's twin gasoline engines, shut down for the dive, had left explosive fumes saturating every compartment. Battery power alone meant 6 hours submerged maximum. Then surface. Ventilate for 45 minutes before restarting engines. Pray nobody lights a cigarette during the procedure. Before we continue with the video, if you're listening right now, help me prove something wrong. My wife said I wouldn't even reach 1,000 subscribers, but I believe stories about old machines like this deserve to be heard. Help me show her that these videos matter. Please subscribe to our channel and let's keep these old machines' legacies alive. 11 days earlier, America had entered the Great War. German U-boats were sinking 600,000 tons of Allied shipping monthly, all running diesel engines. Safe, efficient, unlimited underwater endurance, using battery electric propulsion without worrying about explosive atmospheres on surfacing. American submarines used gasoline engines because that's what internal combustion meant in America. Automotive engines, proven, available, cheap. Also deadly in enclosed spaces. The statistics told a grim story. Between 1900 and 1917, gasoline engine fires and explosions killed 34 American submariners during peacetime operations. Carbon monoxide poisoning claimed 12 more. German U-boats using diesel lost 0 crew to engine-related casualties. Range comparison was worse. Battery electric alone, American boats managed 100 nautical miles submerged. German diesel electrics, 80 miles submerged, but 15,000 miles surface range before refueling versus America's 2,500. In submarine warfare, range meant control. But 19 years earlier, a St. Louis brewery magnate had done something no Navy, no industrial titan, no government proved willing to do. Adolphus Busch spent $250,000, equivalent to $8.4 million today, purchasing American manufacturing rights to Rudolf Diesel's compression ignition engine. The catch? The engine barely worked. Most mechanical engineers considered it a thermodynamic curiosity, commercially worthless, practically impossible to manufacture reliably. Busch's competitors called it Busch's folly. While Lieutenant Nimitz counted gasoline vapor percentages in 1917, the solution was running production lines in St. Louis, not imported from Europe, built in America, perfected through patient engineering nobody else had funded. To understand how a German immigrant brewer saved the American submarine program, you have to return to Munich, 1893, when Rudolf Diesel's engine first exploded. February 17, 1894. Maschinenfabrik Augsburg-Nürnberg, Bavaria. Rudolf Diesel's first prototype detonated with enough force to embed steel fragments in the factory ceiling. Diesel, born Paris, 1858, to German parents, had spent 2 years translating thermodynamic theory into iron and steel. His 1892 patent described compression ignition. Squeeze air hard enough, temperatures exceed 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Inject fuel into that superheated air. Combustion occurs without spark plugs, without flame. Theoretical efficiency, 75%. The best gasoline Otto cycle engines managed 10%. The prototype that exploded achieved 0% efficiency and nearly killed its inventor. Diesel's backers, Krupp Armaments, and MAN Engineering demanded results. For 3 years, Diesel was rebuilt, modified, tested. Compression ratios requiring tolerances measured in thousandths of an inch. Fuel injection timing measured in milliseconds. Cylinder pressures exceeding anything manufacturable with 1890s metallurgy. Every component is custom machined, hand-fitted. Engines would run for 20 minutes, seize mysteriously, require complete disassembly. February 17th, 1897, exactly 3 years after the explosion, Diesel's fourth major prototype ran continuously for 1 hour. Efficiency measured at 26.2%, double any gasoline engine ever built. Munich's 1898 Industrial Exhibition displayed the working engine to astonish crowds. International engineering journals published glowing technical descriptions. Then reality intruded. The engine weighed 10,000 pounds, stood 10 feet tall, produced 20 horsepower. It required constant adjustment, failed unpredictably, demanded manufacturing precision beyond most machine shops. Diesel himself couldn't explain half the breakdowns. British Admiralty engineers evaluated it for naval use. Unsuitable. American technical journals called it theoretically brilliant, commercially impractical. The consensus among industrialists worldwide: compression ignition worked in laboratories under perfect conditions. Mass production, impossible. While European experts dismissed it as academic curiosity, one man 5,000 miles away in St. Louis saw something different. Not what the engine was, but what patient engineering could make it become. Adolphus Busch, born Hackastel, Germany, 1839, immigrated to St. Louis at age 18 with $600 and ambition. By 1861, he'd married Lily Anheuser, daughter of a struggling brewery owner. By 1890, Anheuser-Busch was America's first national beer brand, shipping refrigerated rail cars coast to coast using pasteurization techniques borrowed from Europe. Busch understood something other American industrialists didn't. The best ideas often came from Germany, but only American capital and scale could perfect them. September 1898, Busch visited Munich, watched Diesel's engine demonstration. What he saw: an engine that converted 26% of fuel energy into work, while gasoline engines managed 10%. What others saw: an unreliable 10,000-pound laboratory experiment. Busch saw brewery refrigeration, riverboat propulsion, industrial power generation. He saw potential. The deal: $250,000 for exclusive North American manufacturing rights. Diesel got desperately needed capital. Busch got a monopoly on unproven technology. St. Louis businessmen called it Busch's folly. Why waste beer profits on broken engines? Busch established Diesel Motor Company of America in 1898, hired German engineers, built manufacturing facilities. Then reality hit. The engines still didn't work reliably. 1899, 1900, 1901, 1902. 4 years of expensive failures. Each engine is custom-built, hand-fitted, temperamental. Would run perfectly Tuesday, refused to start Wednesday. Investors demanded Busch abandon the project. He didn't. Busch kept funding development while competitors mocked him, brought more engineers from Germany, invested in precision machining equipment, documented every failure systematically. Small breakthrough. 1902. First marine diesel installed on Mississippi riverboat. Still unreliable, still expensive, but proving the concept worked. 1904. First commercial installation in a St. Louis brewery. 6 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars after purchase, diesel engines were finally running in America. Barely. Expensively, but running. While Busch burned money in Missouri, European navies were noticing something. Diesel engines made submarines possible. 1904, French Navy commissioned Aigret, the world's first diesel-powered submarine. The advantages appeared immediately. No explosive gasoline fumes in enclosed spaces meant crews could operate safely. Diesel fuel's higher energy density delivered 12,000 miles surface range versus gasoline submarines' 3,000 miles. Most critically, diesel boats could dive and surface without ventilating explosive atmospheres for 45 minutes first. What seemed like laboratory curiosity became naval necessity overnight. 1908, the Imperial German Navy began diesel submarine programs. 1910, the British Royal Navy ordered diesel boats. By 1912, every major European power was building diesel submarines. The engine Rudolf Diesel invented was finally finding its purpose. American Navy was stuck with gasoline. Bureau of Steam Engineering dismissed diesel as unproven foreign technology. Cultural resistance ran deep. Gasoline engines were American, proven in automobiles, manufactured by established companies. Diesel remained European, temperamental, requiring specialized knowledge. The irony escaped Navy planners completely. Busch's Diesel Motor Company in St. Louis had perfected American diesel manufacturing, while the Navy bought gasoline engines from Detroit. USS E-2 sank off Honolulu, March 1915. Gasoline engine fire killed 21 submariners. Navy investigation recommended considering diesel. No action followed. Meanwhile, September 29, 1913, Rudolf Diesel vanished from a ship crossing the English Channel. His body was found floating October 10th. Suicide, accident, or murder remained unclear. Despite his engine's growing success, Diesel died nearly bankrupt from patent disputes. Adolphus Busch received news of Diesel's death on October 10, 1913. That same day, Busch died of cirrhosis in Germany. 2 German immigrants who made diesel possible, both dead within weeks. August 1914, World War I began. German U-boats devastated Allied shipping immediately, all running diesel engines. American military observers documented German submarine superiority, but America remained neutral. Navy remained committed to gasoline. When America entered the war, April 1917, the submarine crisis became immediate and undeniable. April 1917, American entry into World War I exposed the submarine crisis immediately. German U-boats controlled Atlantic sea lanes using diesel propulsion. American submarines limped along on gasoline engines that killed their own crews. Navy needed diesel conversions urgently. European manufacturers couldn't help, overwhelmed by supplying their own militaries. The solution sat in St. Louis, the same company the Navy had ignored for 19 years. Emergency contracts flooded Diesel Motor Company of America. August Busch Jr., Adolphus's son, now ran both the brewery and the diesel operation his father had funded through 2 decades of losses. Production ramped dramatically. Brewery facilities converted to engine manufacturing. Hundreds of workers were hired and trained. The expertise accumulated since 1898. Every documented failure, every solved problem, now paid enormous dividends. American diesel engines in 1917 surpassed European designs. Better fuel injection systems from years of refinement. Improved cold weather starting from systematic testing. Manufacturing tolerances are tighter than German or British equivalents. What began as Busch's folly had become an American technological advantage. Existing gasoline submarines received diesel retrofits. New S-class and R-class submarines incorporated diesel from the design stage. Performance transformation was dramatic. Range extended from 500 nautical miles to 3,500. Surface speed increased 40%. Dive time improved radically without clearing gasoline fumes first. Most importantly, crew survival rates jumped. No more explosions from fuel vapors. No more carbon monoxide poisoning. The technical triumph came from solving problems that defeated Diesel himself in 1897. Precision fuel injection timing achieved through manufacturing advances Busch funded. Superior metallurgy for cylinder walls withstanding extreme compression pressures. Refined lubrication systems from patient iteration. Better compression ratios from 2 decades of testing. By 1918, American diesel engines were the world's most reliable. Each failure since 1898 had been documented, each problem solved systematically. The war ended before a massive American submarine offensive materialized, but the foundation was laid permanently. By 1920, diesel engines transformed from experimental curiosity to industrial standard. Railroad locomotives began dieselization. Cargo ships and tankers adopted diesel propulsion. Remote power generation, heavy construction equipment, agricultural tractors, all converted to compression ignition. Diesel Motor Company of America, once mocked as Busch's folly, became an industrial giant. Other manufacturers entered the market, but Busch's company maintained the lead with 22 years of patient losses. The physics vindicated Rudolf Diesel's 1892 theory completely. Production diesel engines achieved 40% thermal efficiency versus gasoline's 25%. Compression ignition worked exactly as Diesel predicted. What seemed impossible in 1898 became the foundation of global transportation. World War II proved the submarine's legacy definitively. All submarines ran diesel-electric propulsion until nuclear power arrived. German Type 7 U-boats descended from engines that won World War I. American fleet submarines, Gato and Balao classes, represented diesel perfection. The technology tree traced directly to Busch's 1898 gamble. Modern conventional submarines still use diesel-electric drive. The line runs unbroken from Munich, 1897 to 2024. Calculate the lives amaved. Every gasoline submarine explosion was prevented. Every carbon monoxide death avoided. The quiet victory remains invisible in history books. No dramatic moments, just thousands of sailors who didn't die from fuel vapor fires. Logistics officers understood the truth. Without safe engines, submarines don't dive. Without submarines, you can't control sea lanes. Today's statistics tell the final story. 75% of global shipping runs diesel engines. Majority of trucks, buses, heavy equipment use compression ignition. Backup power generation worldwide, diesel. Marine propulsion, overwhelmingly diesel. Rudolf Diesel's vision fully realized. Adolphus Busch's gamble vindicated beyond measure. 2 German immigrants died in 1913, never seeing full impact. Different technologies, same principle. German innovation plus American capital plus patient engineering equals victory. America didn't have diesel engines in 1898. It had something better. A brewer willing to spend a fortune making them work.